In a tall, sturdy oak tree, nestled deep within a whispering forest, lived a little owl named Pip. Now you might think all owls love the night, with its cool breezes and sparkling stars. But not Pip. Pip was a little owl with a very big secret. He was afraid of the dark. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, a shiver would run down Pip's fluffy feathers, while his brothers and sisters hooted with excitement, eager to spread their wings and explore. Pip would snuggle deeper into his nest, shutting his big, round eyes tightly. "The dark is full of scary shadows," he'd whisper to his mother, "and strange noises. What if I get lost? What if there are monsters?" His mother would nuzzle him gently. "Oh, my dear Pip," she'd coo. "The night is not something to fear. It's a time for owls to be who they are. The noises are just the forest settling down to sleep, and the shadows are just familiar shapes wearing their nighttime clothes." But Pip wasn't convinced. He watched his siblings soar into the twilight, their silhouettes dancing against the moon. He longed to join them, to feel the wind beneath his wings, and see the world from high above. Yet the fear held him tight, like an invisible cage. One night, the moon was just a sliver in the sky, and the darkness felt deeper and more immense than ever before. Pip trembled in his nest, listening to the crickets chirping and a distant rustle in the leaves. He squeezed his eyes shut, wishing for the morning sun to return. Just then, a tiny flickering light bobbed past his nest. It blinked on and off, a gentle pulsing glow. Pip cautiously opened one eye. It wasn't a star, and it wasn't the moon. It was a little firefly, no bigger than one of Pip's own feathers. The firefly hovered in front of him, its light warm and friendly. "Hello there, little owl," it buzzed softly. "Why are you all tucked away? The night is beautiful." Pip was surprised. He had never spoken to a firefly before. I'm afraid of the dark," he confessed, his voice barely a squeak. The firefly blinked its light thoughtfully. "Afraid? But why? The dark is where the magic happens. Come with me. I'll show you." Pip hesitated. The thought of leaving the safety of his nest was terrifying. But there was something kind and brave about this little speck of light. He looked at the firefly, then at the vast dark forest. Taking a deep, shaky breath, Pip did something he had never done before. He hopped to the edge of the branch. "Okay," he whispered. "But stay close." "I promise," the firefly buzzed, and with a cheerful flick of its light, it darted into the air. Pip stretched his wings, which felt stiff and unused. He took a clumsy leap and flapped, his heart thumping in his chest. For a moment, he wobbled, but then he caught a gentle breeze and found himself floating, actually flying, in the night air. The firefly, who introduced himself as Sparky, led the way. "First, let's look at the shadows you're so afraid of," Sparky said, his light dimming and brightening as he spoke. He flew towards a large looming shape that Pip had always thought was a giant monster with spiky arms. As they got closer, Sparky shone his light on it. It wasn't a monster at all. It was just a big old pine tree, its branches reaching for the sky like sleepy arms. The scary shape was just its shadow. Pip let out a little hoot of surprise. Next, they flew over a babbling brook. In the dark, the sound of the water had always sounded like whispering ghosts to Pip. But now, with Sparky's light dancing on the surface, he could see the water tumbling over smooth, shiny stones. It was a beautiful musical sound, not a scary one. He watched as the moonlight turned the water into a ribbon of liquid silver. "See?" Sparky buzzed. "The sounds are just the forest's lullaby." Pip was starting to feel a little braver. The world wasn't so terrifying when you looked at it closely, but he was still nervous. What about getting lost? He asked. Everything looks the same in the dark. Sparky chuckled. A sound like tiny bells. Not if you know how to look, he said. Look up, Pip. What do you see? Pip tilted his head back and gasped. He had been so focused on the scary things on the ground that he had never truly looked at the sky. Above them, the darkness was not empty at all. It was a vast velvet blanket sprinkled with countless shimmering diamonds. Stars blinked and twinkled, some bright and bold, others faint and distant. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens like a river of light. Wow, Pip breathed. It's beautiful. These are the stars, Sparky explained. They are like ancient lighthouses. Sailors and travelers have used them for ages to find their way. They are your map in the dark. Sparky showed Pip how to find the North Star, the brightest one that never moves, and how to spot constellations that looked like animals and heroes. Pip learned to recognize the Big Dipper, which looked like a giant soup ladle, and Orion the Hunter with his sparkling belt. The sky was no longer a scary, empty void. It was a grand celestial storybook. As they flew on, something magical began to happen. Other fireflies, seeing Sparky and Pip, started to join them. Soon, hundreds, then thousands of fireflies were dancing in the air, creating swirling patterns of light. They lit up the entire forest, turning it into an enchanted wonderland. The trees glowed. The flowers seemed to sparkle, and the forest floor was dappled with moving lights. Pip flew through the middle of the firefly ballet, his heart filled with a joy he had never known. He hooted, not a hoot of fear, but a hoot of pure delight. He swooped and soared, playing chase with Sparky and his friends. He wasn't afraid anymore. How could he be, when the dark was so full of light and beauty? He saw his family flying nearby, and his mother gave him a proud, loving hoot. He flew over to join them, his wings strong and confident. Pip, you're flying, chirped his sister. The night is amazing, Pip exclaimed. Did you know the stars can be your map? And the sound of the river is just a song. And the fireflies, they put on the most incredible light show. His family was overjoyed to see him so happy. Pip spent the rest of the night exploring with them, pointing out the constellations Sparky had shown him, and listening to the forest's lullaby with new ears. As the first hints of dawn began to lighten the eastern sky, Pip and Sparky landed back on the branch of the old oak tree. Pip was tired, but it was a happy, satisfied kind of tired. Thank you, Sparky, Pip said, nuzzling the little firefly gently. You showed me that the dark isn't scary. It's full of wonder. Sparky blinked his light warmly. The magic was always there, Pip. You just needed to be brave enough to open your eyes and see it. From that night on, Pip was a different owl. He still loved the warm sun and the bright blue sky of daytime, but he also looked forward to the evening, when the sun would set and the magic of the night would begin. He became the best explorer of all, knowing all the secret paths and the best spots to watch the stars. And sometimes, on the darkest nights, he would fly alongside a tiny blinking light, his friend Sparky the firefly, reminding every creature he met that you can always find light and beauty, even in the darkest of places. All you have to do is look. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed Pip's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more magical tales. See you next time.